Hello there carpologists, I'm Joe, and today I'm talking about how to stay warm this winter and the importance of layering. Today's video is in conjunction with Prologic, who have supplied me with lots of different items of clothing so I can demonstrate the different layers that you need to keep warm in the winter. Now, when I was younger, I never had anything dedicated to staying warm, so I just put on 2 or 3 t-shirts, a couple of jumpers, hoodie, a coat, and I'd still be freezing my ass off. But it just goes to show, if you have the right stuff, you don't need to have that many layers to stay nice and toasty. First up, I'm going to talk about the base layer. I'm going to wrap through it because it's not really warm enough to be in just a t-shirt right now, but it's very important you get these elements right. So the bottom half, I've got the bank-bound joggers on, really nice and comfortable, quite loose-fitting, elasticated waistband. And then on the inside is fleece line, so it's not only comfortable on your skin, but it's also nice and warm. Moving up to the top half is just a nice, loose-fitting, comfortable t-shirt. And what you want is something that's comfortable to your skin, because this is what's closest to your body. You want to be comfortable to start with. And you also want something breathable. We all know how it is when you've wrapped up really warm from the car, all your gear's on the barrow, you wheel it to your swim, and then you're sweating your ass off. The last thing you want is for that sweat to get stuck on your clothes, cool down, and then you've got to chill because you've got wet clothing. So something that's breathable, lets that sweat come out, is what you want on your base layers. Now the base layers are out of the way, I can start to warm up with the mid layer. Now this may be teaching you how to suck eggs, but something like this, a nice warm hoodie. This is the bank bound hoodie, matches up with the joggers, and it's nice and loose fitting once again. Extended arms, nice and baggy, and the idea of that is that it traps heat between your base layer, and your body heat can warm up that air between that and the mid layer and becomes like a nice warm cushion of air around you. But it's important that it's still slightly loose to let some of that excess air escape if you're getting too warm. You don't want to be overheating, but you also want to trap that heat nicely. Now the third layer is the insulation layer, typically much lighter and made of more synthetic materials just to reduce that wind chill, which as you can see is pushing in here a little bit at the moment and it is pretty cold, but putting this on has kept me much warmer and reducing that wind chill. Now as I said, the idea of the mid layers to keep you much warmer, trap some of that heat, but if you're getting a bit too hot and sweaty, it can allow some of that heat to escape. But if you don't want that heat to escape, that's where this sort of item comes in. This is the bank bound shirt jacket, and it's keeping me nice and warm, retaining some of that heat that the mid layer may have otherwise released, keeping me nice and toasty. And lastly, keep your head nice and warm. A lot of your heat is lost through your head and your feet, so if you keep those two parts of your body warm, then you're on to a winner more than likely. You can either do this by having a stupid 1980s haircut or lack of haircut like I do, or stick a hat on, or do both and you stay nice and toasty. Now if that isn't enough to keep you warm, there's even more you can do. Right now I'm nice and toasty, it's only about 5 degrees today and I'm nice and warm like this. But if I wanted to go for more, then there is more you can try. Your bib and braces and your jackets. Bib and braces covers more of your legs, keeps all that nice and warm and traps heat up to more your your torso, and the jacket goes over the top of that and retains lots more heat. Now Prologic have several to offer. You've got your Light Pro bib and brace and jackets. Really nice and lightweight, so it's not weighing much. If you want to chuck that in your bag, it's not going to take up too much room and doesn't weigh too much. If that's not enough for you, you can then go up to the Heritage bib and brace, which is slightly more heavy duty, a bit more insulation, going to keep you really nice and toasty. And then on top of all of that, you've then got your high grade bib and brace and jacket. This is kind of the pinnacle of keeping you warm. This is what I was wearing at the very start, and I had to do a couple of takes to get the intro done, and by then I was way too hot, so I had to take them off. But there is plenty for you to choose from to keep you nice and toasty this winter. Now I did do a full video on all of these bib and braces and jackets from Prologic about this time last year, so if you want more information on all of these, then follow the link in the description. As I mentioned earlier, it's very important to keep your head and your feet warm because a lot of your body's heat can be lost through those two parts of your body. So if they aren't warm, you're basically undoing all the hard work you've done to keep the rest of your body warm. So stick a hat on, put some thermal socks on, and have some decent shoes as well. Now in my hands I have the Grip Tech boots and the Polar Zone boots. Very, very similar in style and design, only the Polar boots have a bit more ankle support as well. Fully waterproof, but also fully breathable. So just like your base layers, you want something that's warm but will be breathable as well. So if your feet get hot and sweaty, there's still going to be enough airflow to let them breathe, but it's going to keep you nice and warm and keep your feet dry. So if you're walking to your swim through long grass or really frosty ground, muddy stuff, you don't want your feet to be getting wet and soggy because that's just going to ruin your session, and as I said, undo all the hard work you've done on keeping the rest of your body warm. So there you go, how to keep warm this winter and the basics of layering. Now, to some of you this may be old news, but to others this may be very helpful. Just like me when I was younger, I used to freeze my ass off on the bank until I started getting some decent, properly designed clothing for out on the winter. I now enjoy my winter sessions rather than thinking, why didn't I just stay at home in bed? So for more information, please visit the Prologic website on all of these different items. We've also got an article on insulation on the website. But cheers for watching, and I'll see you again soon.